Hey, what's going on, St. Philip's family? Good to get together, even if it's kind of through this virtual world, which we're all navigating and trying to learn, and good to be together. As much as my heart aches to really be together with my church family and be with you guys physically, and that's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be, even angry or whatever it is. But, one thing that we need to know and we need to keep at the center point is that Jesus is Lord. That's helped me go to sleep a lot at night, is knowing and trusting that 1,000% Jesus is who he says he is. And because Jesus is who he says he is, that means we are who he says we are. And there's no greater truth to understand that Jesus is Lord. So I hope that gives you comfort. I hope that gives you hope. I'm going to dive into some passages that were part of the Moravian text today. So we're starting in Mark chapter 7, and I kind of found it funny that this is where we're at today, because this is it's kind of funny in you'll get it. You'll get the joke, trust me, in the sense of where the world is right now and what this passage is about. So it starts in chapter 7. It says this: the Pharisees and some of the teachers of the law who had come from Jerusalem gathered around Jesus and saw some of his disciples eating food with hands that were unclean, that is, unwashed. The Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they give their hands a ceremonial washing, holding to the tradition of the elders. When they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash, and they observe many other traditions, such as the washing of cups, pitchers, and kettles. So the Pharisees and teachers of the law asked Jesus, "Why don't your disciples live according to the tradition of the elders instead of eating their food with unclean hands?" So it starts off with a controversy over washing your hands. And even outside of COVID-19, wash your hands, people. It's important. You should be doing it. And we all know that. That's not news to anybody. And ultimately, Jesus is not having a debate about hygiene. Let's just get that straight right now. He's not having a debate about hygiene, okay? This is a debate that goes way deeper, and you'll notice that they're not necessarily talking about washing your hands the way we think about washing your hands. They very clearly talk about it as a ceremonial washing of hands, a traditional thing that they would do, okay? And Jesus responds, as he often does, that he's not into this, the idea of ceremony, whatever. He is after something far better, far deeper, far greater, okay? Far more important to our lives, all right? So this is what he says, and I love it. He replied, "Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you hypocrites. As it is written, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are but rules taught by men." Their teachings are but rules taught by men. You have let go of the commands of God and are holding on to the traditions of men. Guys, this passage is about religion versus relationship. Religion versus relationship. Jesus wanted to carve into the heart of what are you doing and why are you doing that way? Are you doing it because it's religion and you need these rules? If I just get X, Y, and Z in the right order, then I'm good to go? Or is it relationship that you're after? And I'm going to tell you guys the dirty little secret, okay? I shouldn't be touching my face. But the dirt, I just washed my hands, whatever. I'm going to tell you guys the dirty little secret. Religion is far easier than relationship. Religion is far easier than relationship. And that's why so many people So many people are comfortable in their religion and incredibly uncomfortable at the idea of relationship. If I can just live my life in a way that there's a set of rules, a set of boundaries, and as long as I don't do anything to cross those, I'm good to do whatever else I want, it's religion. And it's easier than relationship, because relationship carves to the heart of who we are. Relationship deals with the two biggest things that you and I have to deal with in this world: identity, who we are, and purpose. Religion does not have to influence those two things. Religion can be compartmentalized and left on a Sunday morning. Religion can be compartmentalized and left in the closet and only brought out when you need to make sure you got your list checked off. Relationship cannot be put aside. Relationship is every day. Relationship is spending time with Him. And relationship's hard because He's going to get to the heart of the matter. He's going to find the pain and the darkness and the struggle and the sin. And through relationship, He's going to heal those things and deal with those things. But if we're stuck on religion, we'll never get there. We'll never get there. It's like a story. I'll just finish with this. And I'll probably botch it. I won't tell it very well. But it's like a guy goes to a karate school and he meets this instructor, and the first thing the instructor needs to teach him, this is true actually, I've been in karate, and it's one of my great loves actually, but he gets to this school, right, and the first thing he teaches him is how to tie the belt, right? Because you get your white belt, yellow belt, orange belt, you work your way up, right? And how you tie your belt is important. And I've been part of those things. I mean, shout out to Master Curtis Jordan down at East Coast Karate Academy. That was my school, in middle school and high school, and I still check in and go there, and he yells at me for not going more. I really love him dearly, but how you tie your belt has always been important. It's been a thing. And so the story goes like this. Guy goes to a new school, wants to learn karate. The master makes a huge deal about how he ties the belt, right? And he says the belt always goes around 3 times, and then you tie it this way, and then you tie it like this. And the guy was always like, why 3 times? It doesn't make sense to do it that way, but okay. And the guy's like, no, tradition, this is how it's done. This is how my master taught me to do it, And eventually the guy, kind of moves through the ranks and he's learning stuff. And eventually he meets the next guy up, the master of his master, and he's like, hey, what's going on with this? Why do I have to tie the belt 3 times, around like this? Why do we do that, And, oh, it's very important. It's very important. This is one of the most important things you'll learn, is this is how you have to tie the belt. And he's like, okay, all right. He goes, it's how my master taught me, He's like, all right. And eventually he meets this guy's master, he works his way up, and eventually he goes to Japan or whatever, and he finds the guy that taught all of these other people that are now teaching him. And he finally, he finds this guy, and the guy's kind of little, and, he doesn't look like much, and he asks him, Master, can you finally tell me the secret behind why we tie our belts, 3 times around? And the master looks at him and he goes, well, because that's how I had to tie mine. I'm very short, and if I didn't tie it around 3 times, I would trip on it. So that's why you do it. I just do it so I don't trip. And the guy realizes, like, all of this stuff has just been built on tradition, and none of it actually mattered. Like, it didn't affect anything, outside of what he was trying to do. So it's just a funny story. Again, I'm sure I botched it. But it's like that. Is it religion or is it relationship? And Jesus just makes it so clear that it's about relationship. So I love you guys, and thanks for joining us today, and we'll talk soon. Bye.